We live.
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right.
Yo, you already know how it is. What's up? What y'all been up to?
Chilling. What's up, everybody? We got the great A Ray here, Allan Ray the third. I'll be interviewing him tonight. But welcome to our March Madness mini series, Brackets and Buckets, in collaboration with the 9450. So everybody, make sure y'all subscribe to the 9450. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere, YouTube. We streaming live from the 9450 right now, so please make sure you subscribe. But welcome to Brackets and Buckets.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure being here. I'm ready to talk some brackets and some buckets. I'm ready.
Chanteé, what's up?
I mean, we can get right to it. Alan,
Yeah,
I want to know.
on the bush.
Yeah, let's get right to it
Yeah,
then.
let's
So,
do it.
tell us a little bit from the beginning, just how you got into wanting to play basketball.
Um, well, that's easy for me. Like my father used to watch. He was a big Knick fan. Um, and I used to be in the house with him all the time, hearing him complain about the Knicks losing to the Bulls every single year in the playoffs. Charles Smith getting his shot blocked under the basket 10 times in a row. So, I lived through all of that with him. And he used to go to the park and play pickup down on 161st Street across the street from the old Yankee Stadium. He used to go play there. And, me, I wanted to always be outside, never wanted to be in the house. So I would go to the park with him and like watch him play with the other guys in the neighborhood. And after he would finish playing and everybody would kind of clear the court a little bit, like we would go there and like take shots and start shooting and stuff like that. And I think that's like kind of how my love for the game came about. Just like watching NBA and just being able to like shoot hoops and watch my pops in the park. I think that was a big influence on me playing basketball.
Okay. So when did you know, like, what moment did you know that you were going to take basketball seriously? Like, obviously you liked watching our father play, but when did you take it seriously?
I probably want to say probably later on when I got older. I'm talking about seventh grade, eighth grade, around that time. I kind of started feeling like I'm pretty good at this game, and I was like maybe I could make something out of it. But the main thing for me was like I was just happy to be playing basketball. Like I just love playing basketball, so it was really a no brainer for me. I remember, and if y'all don't know, this is my sister too. So
I was gonna
um,
say that, like, anybody that's watching this,
yeah,
like, Brittany and Alan are siblings.
yeah.
So,
Right.
just to give y'all background.
So you remember I used to play football and I used to play baseball coming
Right.
up. So I had to decide between those three. And football, it was time for me to move up in the division. And I remember all my friends was playing, but like those dudes was big as hell. And I was not trying to get hit by them every single game. So I scratched football. And then baseball, I got hit in the face with the baseball one time, and that did not feel good. And I was done. Baseball over, playing basketball.
Wow.
I
Okay.
didn't know that. I didn't know that you played
Yeah.
football too. So that's something new that I learned. So you ultimately ended up going to St. Ray's, and here in the Bronx, St. Raymond's is one of them ones, right? One of them high
Yeah.
schools that if you're a serious hooper, you want to go to. So, like, how did you ultimately choose, or why did you ultimately choose to go to St. Raymond's?
The honest to God truth of why I went to St. Ray's, and I'm probably like, this is the honest to God truth. Because everybody said that I wasn't going to be able to play there. Like, that's why I went to St. Ray's. Because I wanted to go to Cardinal Hayes. Like I was stuck on going to Cardinal Hayes. I was a big Jamal Mashburn fan. I trained with his trainer. He helped him when he was younger, Mr. Page. Shout out to Mr. Page, rest in peace. and I really wanted to go there, and they really wasn't giving out the scholarship that I wanted, to like really help me go there. But I still was trying to figure out a way to get there. And then I remember Gary DeCesar came to watch one of our games in Webster Projects. Like Gary D came to Webster Projects. Like it's just nothing but bloods over there. Gang central, and he's in the middle of Webster. But anyway, we watching the game, and I guess that was the first time he seen me play. He went to go see Buddha play, and then he talked to my dad, and basically was saying it was an opportunity for me to come there. And then I remember saying like, yo, I might go to St. Ray's now. Everybody's like, oh hell no, you're not gonna play. They got Quan Pinkney there, Julius Hodges there, Darnell Miller, Devon Folks, like. They was just going off the rails with all the names. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, coach, let's do this. So that's the honest to God reason why I went to St. Ray's. Just honestly, everybody said that I wouldn't be able to play there.
Well, that kind of like leads me into my next question, because I watched some of your previous interviews and you talked about how you felt like throughout, I guess, your basketball career, like you were underrated at times.
Mm-hmm.
So can you talk a little bit about that? Like why you felt that way, or what situations made you feel like you were underrated or overlooked?
That's just like part growing up where I was from, just always being competitive and being the smallest guy. Like, believe it or not, a lot of times I'm always the smallest guy on the court, even though I'm 6'2". The game has changed, guys. Is huge, but there's always been that chip on my shoulder. Coming from the Bronx, you know how that is. How hard it is growing up in that area. So that also gave me a chip on my shoulder. Just being in competitive basketball, going to tournaments, constantly losing to freaking Riverside and Gauchos every damn year when I'm young. Like that put a chip on my shoulder too. Like I wanted to be good just like those guys. I wanted to win just like those guys. So it was definitely a combination of things that led into me like having that chip on my shoulder. I definitely played with a chip on my shoulder.
Facts. I wanted to ask, because obviously we're in New York City, right? You played against a lot of great competition. Who did you feel like growing up was the most, was your hardest competition?
Elijah Ingram. That's easy. Elijah Ingram from Jersey. He played with, I think it was Tim Thomas. He played with Tim Thomas, lefty. He could shoot it, and he was quick as hell. Like, he used to have me on the string every time we played them. Like, I could never stay in front of him. He always created enough space where he could get his shot off, and he was a real good shooter. Yeah, he used to give me problems. Like every single time we played him, like I just couldn't stay in front of him, couldn't block it. I just couldn't do nothing with him. Couldn't do nothing with him. Yeah, I remember that.
I didn't know that.
Those rides home with my dad back to New York, they was long.
Hold on, what daddy used to be saying to you?
He used to be like, look, every time. He'd be like, every time. Like, at some point, you're going to have to stand up for yourself. Like, you let this dude kill you every single time. Like, he used to
sound like Mr. Ray.
Yeah. The whole ride home.
That sounds about right.
Yo. Daddy was one of them parents.
Right. Can't play defense, can't do nothing. Like, he own you. He own you.
Oh, my God. Okay, so I wanted to ask you, I know you talk about this in a couple of other interviews. You say how Villanova was your dream school, essentially. Can you talk about why you sent these letters out? Like what sparked you wanting to be proactive and sending these letters out to these colleges to come and get a chance to watch you?
Oh, so you talking about in high school when I was with St. Ray's?
When you was in high school, yeah.
Yeah, so this is my sophomore year. It's my sophomore year. I started. I'm playing. I'm on varsity.
Right.
We play Rice. I'm feeling myself. I'm on TV. I'm in the newspaper. So I'm just like, man, I'm about to write. I made a list of like the 10 schools that I wanted to go to. It was like Cincinnati was on there, North Carolina, Duke. Um, who else was? I don't even know. I might have put Villanova on there. Pittsburgh. I can't remember the whole list, but anyway, so I sent those. I sent a letter out to all of the schools, gave them my schedule, basically come watch me play during the season. I remember a couple of schools came up. I do remember Cincinnati coming to watch me play after one home game because I remember going into the office with Gary D to like go talk to the coach, and I remember Gary D was like you trying to do my job now? He's like, I just need you to focus on basketball. He's like, what are you? He's like, you out recruiting now? And I was like, nah, coach. He's like, no, just focus on basketball. He's like, I'll take care of that other stuff. And that was the last time I ever rode to school again.
Wow. So Gary D didn't he didn't tell you to do that. You just did that by yourself because you was feeling yourself.
I did that myself. Come on, you know me. Come on.
So
like this is what I do.
I'm not surprised, but
this is what I do.
That was an interesting story because I didn't know you did that. So like, did you take it personally? Because I heard that Villanova was like, yeah, thank you for your letter, but we already have the players that we need for this season or for for the upcoming seasons.
Yeah, so I did put Villanova on that list and they sent that letter back. Steve Lapis was the coach at the time. So Coach Wright wasn't even there at the time when I sent the letter. So I sent the letter and I got a letter back from them that said like thanks for the interest, but we already like have our primary recruits that we're targeting for the year or whatever. And like that letter right there, open that one up, tape that one right to my door. Like I taped that one right to the inside of my door. And it's so funny that I ended up like signing with Villanova in the future, which is crazy. New coach and everything.
Yeah. I mean, can you talk about that? What was it? The ABCD camp that kind of put you on the map, like in front of Jay Wright, like, or was that where you made your decision? Was that where you made the decision?
Yeah, I made the decision at ABCD camp, but going into my junior year that summer, I was I was really highly motivated to like be one of the top players in the country. Like that was my goal going into summer. Like I'm trying to go McDonald's. I want to be one of the top players in the country. So I remember going to our first stop was in Bob Gibbons in North Carolina. Raymond Felton was in that tourney. Sean Dockery was in that tourney. Anthony Robeson was in that tourney. So I got a chance to play against all of those guys. I didn't get a chance to play against Raymond Felton, but I remember after like I don't know 2 days in the tournament, if you played in Bob Gibbons, they got a list of the stat leaders. They posted up on this big wall like for anybody to see, and like the whole time I'm like, yo, I gotta be leading the tournament in scoring. Like I didn't have multiple 30-point games. I'm like, I gotta be leading the tournament in scoring. So I go over to the list. I go look, and it's Raymond Felton. He averaging like 37. And I was like, damn. So I was like, man, I'm about to go watch this dude play. So I went to go watch him play. He played with this team from South Carolina. I was like, damn. Like him and DeJuan Wagner is probably one of the most dominant like high school players I've seen. Like, I'm talking about like nobody can stop Raymond Felton in high school. DeJuan was the same way.
Yeah, didn't DeJuan score like 100 points?
Yeah, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Probably easy as hell too.
Sheesh.
Yeah, he did. He was like that. He was like that.
All right, so let's like transition into college. So like, what did you have to do to like mentally prepare to transition to play in Villanova? And was that transition like a huge transition for you, both physically and then also mentally?
So I talked with Curtis Sumter, Jason Frazier about us coming in as freshmen, and they always say like I was the most ready. Like I was ready to come in and like contribute right away. I averaged like 10 points my freshman year. I played maybe like 20 minutes, but I didn't know anything. Like I was just out there falling all over the place, turning the ball over, but I did have a good ability to score the ball. But the biggest thing that I learned and the biggest transition for me was like the defense. Like it was just at first it wasn't as easy to pick up the defensive schemes and like where Coach Wright wanted us and the spots we needed to be in. So that took a while for us to learn. And that was one of my biggest adjustments. But once we got that down packed, as you can see, we started winning, and our season and our careers kind of took off in college once we picked that up. Something so little like that, it like helps our defense and rotations. Took us 2 years to learn.
Right. I mean, can you like talk about, because I feel like Villanova is known for the first recruiting class. Like Jay Wright's, you're part of Jay Wright's first recruiting class, and what makes y'all so reputable is the 4-guard offense that y'all had. Can you talk about the origin story of why y'all had to go to the 4-guard offense and why was it so effective?
Yeah, so I think it was in the tournament, our first round game. We was playing against New Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. And Curtis Sumter, our agile 4-man, athletic, could shoot it, get to the rim. Basically, was a guard in like a 6'6", 6'7" body. And he goes down with a knee injury and is not able to like return. He's down ACL. He's done. So we don't have him anymore. So now we got our next best player is a guard. So that's who we got to roll with. And we wound up winning some games. But I always remember the most important thing was Coach Wright was like, the only way we're going to play this way is if you guys rebound. He's like, if you guys don't rebound, like I'm scrapping it. And like we're done with it. So we went a couple of games and we played. We rebounded. We was playing tough. And he was just like, I'm going to stick with it. He's like, I'm going to stick with it. And that's how it came about. Just basically off of an injury, and we was forced to go with that 4-guard offense, and it ended up wreaking havoc for other teams.
Yeah, I mean, even when we doing research, Chanteé kept talking about how undersized y'all were. Like,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like now that I'm older and I'm like, obviously we were younger, but like now it's like, okay, I really see how undersized y'all were, but y'all was still getting it done. And then to what you was just saying about, rotating on defense, y'all were relentless on defense. Y'all were gnats on defense. So yeah, like y'all executed that perfectly, but yeah, y'all was severely undersized.
It was like we had to learn like defensively how to always like keep moving. You know how sometimes like you be on defense and you might try to look for an opportunity to rest like real quick. Right. Let me rest real quick, but it's really no time for that. You got to be moving around, ball moving, scrambling. So like, and we had to really understand that we need to be in shape. Like you got to be in shape to play that way, and that was a big thing with Coach Wright at Villanova. He kept us in shape. We always was running all the time. So that was good. That helped us out a lot too.
That sounds familiar.
That 4-mile run.
I don't miss it.
My bad. The 1-mile run.
Conditioning.
Yeah.
So did y'all have a conditioning test?
Yeah, but let me tell you, the first 2 years we had to do the 1-mile run. The guards had to do it in like 5 minutes? Five
the
something?
Men always had crazy times.
Yeah, we had to do it in like 5 something. And then my senior year, we was in the pool. we was in the pool, like for conditioning. We was in the pool doing what's the little doggy paddles? We was doing those. We was doing like defensive slides in the pool. We was doing running in the pool, and then after we were like jumping off the diving board and stuff.
Right. Yeah, that was. I mean, I feel like that's
Cause we earned that. We earned that.
yeah.
Like we already knew what we was doing. Like we knew how we needed to play. Coach Wright was like, I'm gonna take it easy on y'all conditioning this year. Cause woo, the first 2 years had me want to transfer to the Atlantic 10.
Yo,
Like the
Nah,
Big East is not for me.
Talking, that's a perfect segue talking into like the Big East of old, like the
Yes.
old Big East. Can
Yeah.
you talk about like who, like obviously the Big East was stacked back then, but who were the toughest teams that you played while you were at Villanova? Like what teams do you remember, or like what games stood out to you as like notable games in the Big East?
So I remember my freshman year, Seton Hall. They had Andre Barrett. They had what's the big man that used to play? He played at St. Ray's too. I can't remember his name. They had the ball head guy. He was the shooter. Seton Hall was always tough because they was older. They had a lot of older guys. I think I played against Sammy Dallenberg too. He was on that team too.
I remember Sammy Dallenberg.
Pittsburgh was tough. They had one of the Knight brothers. I don't want to get their name messed up.
Mm-hmm.
They had him. Julius Page was on that team. You know Julius Page, left-handed
with the headband.
Super bounce. He was on that team. Who else was tough? Notre Dame. They had Chris Quinn was over there. What's the light-skinned dude? Chris Thomas. I think that was his name. The point guard for Notre Dame. He was on that team. Big East was stacked.
It was.
Then you had Syracuse. They had Melo, Jerry Mack, Hakeem Warwick. You know they won the championship that year. UConn. Ben Gordon.
Yo, Brittany and I was just talking about what y'all had to face. You was just talking about who you had to face on UConn. It was bad.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, UConn was stacked.
Yeah,
AJ Price, Ben Gordon, Hashim Thabit, like who was the Boone, Josh Boone.
Josh Boone was on that team.
A lot of pros on that team, man.
It was. Denham Brown. Nobody even talk about Denham Brown. Denham Brown was so nice. I think he was from Canada. He was nice. Nobody used to talk about him.
He was a problem.
He was a problem.
Yeah, he was. Denham Brown was nice. Wow.
He had Sam Young game without the pump fake.
That's a great way to put that.
Denham Brown. Yeah, he was tough. But yeah, Big East back then was whew. And then nothing against the Big East now. Big East now I think is tough. I think Big East now is real good, real competitive. I think they might have some of the best coaching out of all the conferences. Like, they got a lot of good coaching in the Big East, which I think makes it really good every night, in and out every night. Just battles.
Right. I mean, Shaka Smart, Marquette,
right.
They're playing amazing right now.
Yep. Sean Miller. You got Greg McDermott. Shaka Smart, like you said. Danny Hurley. You gotta give Danny Hurley his props.
Yep.
He doing his thing over there at UConn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, clinging, looking like a monster.
Yeah, Shaheen Holloway. You see what he did with Seton Hall. They should be in the tournament.
Yes.
Yeah. We talk about why Big East didn't get so many bids this year.
Right.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. The committee probably felt like, first of all, to be honest, I think the number one priority came down to like money. Like if you look at it and you look at like TV deals with conferences and you look at like the West Coast Conference who got 6 teams in, the West Coast Conference, let me repeat that, got 6 teams in. They signed a CBS deal with them. You never know. That could have played a part. And
Right.
then with Creighton, Marquette, UConn, them three being the only teams ranked and consistently all year in the Big East, nobody else ranked. And the middle of the pile was kind of like even, like nobody really kind of separated themselves. And then you had DePaul and Georgetown bringing everybody else down. So I don't know. It's a lot of things that probably that played a factor, but those are the three things I feel like that played a factor with the Big East only getting 3 bids in this year. They definitely deserve more than 3. Seton Hall, if anybody, should have been in there.
Right. Right. Okay. Roxanne, what you want to go on to? More March Madness moments?
We can stick with the Big East because I mean, I know you get this question a lot, but I just want to know how you really felt with the whole Carl Krauser thing in your eye because that looked crazy. It still looks crazy. Like, can you walk us through what was going through your mind when that happened? And if you can give some background to the people that may not know, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, so Kyle Krauser, little background story in that. We grew up together. We used to play against each other all the time when we was young. So I knew Carl Krauser even before this incident that happened. But basically, we was both going for a loose ball, and I went to like kind of dive on the ball, and he reached out to try to grab the ball, and at the same time, like one of his fingers just went like straight in my eye, and I just remember the immediate pain. Like it felt like somebody stuck like tree bark in my eye, like that's how hard his finger was. It was like somebody just was like some tree bark right in my eye. So that initial pain was hurting so bad. And then like my eye started burning. Like it was burning, which now I know why, because my eyelid was behind my eye. But it's like it's burning. And I remember the trainer coming over, Jeff Pierce. He was a trainer for Villanova. I'm like, Jeff, like, why can't I see, Jeff? Like, why can't I see? Like, what's going on? He's like, it's gonna be all right, A-Ray. It's gonna be all right, A-Ray. I'm like, Jeff, like, come on, Jeff. Like, what's wrong with my eye? It's burning like hell right now. He's like, don't worry about it, A-Ray. It's gonna be okay. So by him saying that, now I'm even more nervous because like he doesn't want to tell me what the hell's going on. At this point, I don't know what my eye looks like and nothing. I just know Madison, and we was in Madison Square Garden. When it happened, it was quiet as hell. Like I could hear a pin drop in
It was
Madison Square
crazy,
Garden.
yeah.
So yeah, it was quiet. I'm asking what happened. Nobody's saying nothing to me. So now I'm starting to freak out a little bit. So they put me on the ambulance. They taking me to the hospital. My mom is on the ambulance with me. She's like, I'm like, Mom, like, what's wrong with my eye? Like, what's wrong with my eye? Like, why can't I see? And like, why is it burning? And she's just like, it's going. She says the same thing Jeff Pierce says. It's going to be okay. She's like, it's going to be okay. So at this point, I just pass out because I'm nervous. I'm anxious. Nobody's telling me nothing. I pass out. I remember passing out, and then I remember waking up. I woke up on a hospital bed, and like my he's just like staring over me like this. He's like just, and I'm like, and the first thing I noticed is like, oh, I could see, but it was like kind of blurry a little bit, but like I could see my dad. He just like looking over me like, and I'm just like, what happened to my eye? So then the doctor comes in. The doctor's like, you got poked in the eye. And he's like, your eyelid, your top eyelid, well, the eyelid went behind your eyeball. And we just had to like pull it out.
It looked crazy.
Yeah.
Like it looked nuts.
So everybody that's saying my eyeball popped out, stop it.
I mean, that's what it looked like. Like
Stop it.
that's what it looked like. I was like, wow. But yeah, that's crazy.
My eyeball did not pop out.
It did not. But it looked crazy.
It did. I looked at the video. I looked at it like 6 years later.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I seen the pictures though.
It looks crazy. That's what I was like. I'm glad you just told that story, just in case nobody do. But
Yeah.
yeah, Britt, we can get into March Madness now.
Wow.
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, look at that joint. It looked like a golf ball.
That's what I'm saying.
A,
And I remember, I was like, yo, that looks crazy.
a ping pong ball.
Yeah, that looks bad. Dang.
Shout out to the picture, but that was gross. No, I'm glad you didn't have to like get any surgeries or
No way. I
anything.
toughed that out. I ain't wear no goggles next game either.
Yeah, they was trying to make you wear goggles.
Yeah.
And you
Come
was
on.
like, nah.
I was like Horace Grant. No way I was wearing goggles. No way.
Let's go to March Madness. So I feel like things really turned up for y'all come your junior year. Um where y'all eventually came up against North Carolina, which was a crazy game. But tell me a little bit about how you had to mentally prepare for tournament play.
Yeah. So basically, going to the tournament, you're playing against teams that you probably didn't face all year. So you're going to be facing different styles of basketball, you know, during the tournament. So you got to really take it one game at a time. So we used to approach it one game at a time. Whoever we play up next, we would prepare and focus for them. So like how it is in the tournament, you play and then you play again the next day. Then you got a whole week to
Mm-hmm.
just like chill and prepare. Like that whole week, that's when they preparing. But they would prepare for the other possibilities too. So like if we playing one team, they would scout the other two possible teams that we would play just in case, so we would be ready. So coaches who don't do that, I just gave y'all some tips of what y'all should be doing in the tournament.
Right.
So they used to like kind of prepare of like all the teams that we might face. So as soon as the game was over and we won, we was already preparing, watching film for the next team.
Right.
But the tournament was fun.
Did Jay have any like rules for the tournament? Because I know like when I was in the tournament, Coach Stringer took our phones,
Mm-hmm.
which probably would never fly today. Like
Yeah.
taking the phone. Did he have any like rules or restrictions on y'all? Like y'all couldn't go nowhere or whatever? Like
Oh, it's college. They're not letting you go nowhere. So you already know you're not going nowhere. That's number one. Well, sometimes like when we used to go to New York to play in like Big East tournament, Coach Wright would like let me go to like go home, or like he let me go to White Castle one time. I was fiending for White Castle because I'm in Philly. I didn't have it. They didn't have White Castle out there. So he's like, all right, Eric, yeah. It was in Manhattan, so it was cool. But they used to take our phones every night. Like every time we had a game, they take our phones.
oh wow.
They used to take our phones every night until that sidekick came out. Now that sidekick came out, things changed a little bit. So
T-Mobile sidekick.
yeah. So we would give in the phones and keep the sidekicks. Like the coaches wasn't up on the sidekicks yet, right? And you remember AOL Messenger? They used to have AOL
Yes.
Messenger on there. That's what everybody used to be on. So like the coaches, obviously they was gonna catch on. We was stupid. Like the coaches was like, hold on, how the hell are these guys on AOL Messenger right now? So then they came in and they start catching on to that. They start taking sidekicks and phones. But yeah, they used to take phones every single game, like away game. Yeah, give me those phones.
Oh, wow. Keep y'all focused.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Go ahead, Roxanne.
Well, I'm just gonna ask, like, how did you feel at the end of that North Carolina game? Because honestly, I know you was called for the travel, but you didn't travel. So like a couple of weeks ago, Brittany and I covered Kent State's game, right? Where I believe a player on Kent State, he made like a really costly turnover, I think, at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And like I'm just wondering in situations like that, like how do you mentally get past that when things of that nature happen during, during an important game?
So so luckily it was one of those situations for me like I knew I didn't travel and like everybody knew I didn't travel. So that helped me out a lot. That helped me out a lot and going to watch the replay really helped me out a lot and was able to like get over it. But like in game during the time, like there's just no time to like dwell on that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the next play. Cause now we trying to win the game. We got a turnover. So it's like, all right, we gotta focus on defense and figure out how we gotta get a stop. So honestly, that was my mindset. It happened. I was shocked as hell. And then I was just like, man, whatever. Like we gotta move on and try to get this stop on defense. Because you know how it is. If you dwell on it,
Right,
one mistake turn into three mistakes, and the next thing you know, you sitting on the bench.
right.
Man, I was in the Carrier Dome tight.
While you was on a pond, you was on a pond,
What?
you was on a pond.
I was on the pond.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about?
She
Oh, you
talking
talking
about
about
she
me?
was mad at the look. He was
Don't.
trying to
I
talk
was
smack.
mad at the play.
Oh, don't
He was
act.
trying to
Don't.
talk smack.
Don't. Yeah. Don't act like you ain't hoop and like you ain't never played in the Carrier Dome.
No, every time I played at the Carrier Dome, I had a bad game.
Cause it's
It
big
was
as hell in there. That's why.
it was hard to shoot at the Carrier Dome for real. Like
Not
I
for
had a bad.
me.
Well,
What's crazy is Brittany. I'm just gonna throw Brittany under the bus. Like she was just saying that sometimes she be trolling you because she's like, I'm the only one that actually went to a Final Four, and that kind of leads me into like that kind of leads me into what we just talked about the North Carolina game, but then your senior year, like y'all was a number one seed. Y'all had a tough y'all had a tough road to
Yeah,
get to
we
the
did.
Final Four. And then y'all, I just want to talk about the end of the Boston College game because that was crazy. I just want to say that. But then, what happened with Florida?
So I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened in Florida.
And tell me who was on Florida so the people can know who you was going against.
Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Corey Brewer.
mm-hmm.
So that's what height wise 21 feet 8 inches between all three of them.
And again, y'all was severely undersized at the
I think
time.
Not Torian Prince. Was it Torian Prince?
I think it was
He was
Was
on
it?
that team. Walter Hodge was on that team. He came off the bench. I forgot all about that. Uh, who else was on that team? Anyway, I just said the big three. But this is what happened. The year before, we beat them.
mm,
Joakim, Al Horford, all of them. They was young pups. We beat them in the tournament, and we made it to the Sweet 16. So we came back senior year. We were real good senior year. We in
mhm.
Elite Eight. We just beat Boston College. We on the layup line. I remember like it was yesterday. We on the layup line, and we look up at the scoreboard, and George Mason beats UConn, and we're we going to the Final Four. We going to the Final Four. Like we about to win a national championship. Like George Mason just beat UConn. We slapped Florida last year. They got the same team. We about to kill these dudes. Yo, we came on the court. They remember last year because they put a beating on us. They
Mhm.
put a beating on us. They smacked us, and I'll never forget that. I was tight. I was tight.
Revenge.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
So yeah,
crazy.
don't take your opponents lightly. That's basically the story right there.
I was gonna ask, what advice do you have, for this current players in tournament play? Like, what advice would you give them just based off your experiences?
You got to try to like live in the moment, like be in the moment, because there's so much stuff going on in the tournament. Pictures, interviews, friends, family. Like when you step on the court, you got to try to like be in the moment. Like, I'm on the court right now. I'm in the NCAA tourney. This is the second round game. I'm playing against such and such. Like be in that moment. Don't worry about what's your parents in the stands or your friends. Don't worry about NBA scouts being there. Like you're on the court playing against such and such. Like be in that moment. And
Right.
like that will help a whole lot. I wish somebody would have told me that because I used to always be like stressing and thinking about other shit while I'm playing. So that's definitely some good advice right there.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
I
Go
have
ahead,
another.
Rex.
Yeah, so like, obviously we in the era of NIL, and like Brittany said earlier in this conversation, like how they marketed y'all big four between you, Mike Nardi, Lowry, Boy, like I just wonder, like, well, I don't wonder because I know you would have wanted to take advantage of the NIL opportunities now, but how do you feel about name, image, and likeness and the fact that these kids can get paid in high school and college?
So one, I say I'm jealous, obviously. Like if you're an older player and you're not jealous, like you're lying because you wish you had that while you was playing.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm not a hater. Like it's been a long time coming, and it's good to see that it's finally here. And it also kind of makes you feel like you paved the way for that. You were one of the pioneers. Like you were one of the early people who like sacrificed not getting paid and all this other stuff to play. So it's a good thing and it's a good feeling. Like I'm definitely happy for them, and they put in a lot of work. A lot of guys don't get to play after college. A lot of guys don't make it pro, but now they got an opportunity. Like this could be their pro, and it
Right.
gives them an opportunity to like take care of their family and like take care of themselves and sets themselves up going forward after college.
Right. Right.
Just imagine you got NIL, you made $200,000, $300,000, you graduated school, like you in a much better position to like do something and be successful than if you didn't have that. So I'm all for it.
Right. Right. Did you like, if you put yourself, if you had NIL back when you were in school, do you think about what like deals you would have had, like locally at Villanova, like even like eatery spots or something like that? Do you even ever think about stuff like that? Like what NIL deals would you have had if it existed when you were in school?
So I probably would have like tried to do things that I liked, maybe, and I feel like I'll probably be doing basic stuff, like a lot of basic stuff that like Coach Wright used to do. Like commercials. He used to do commercials for like Land Rover. He still does stuff like that now. Taco Bell. I used to stay at Taco Bell.
Brittany and I talk about that.
Wow. Taco Bell was my choice.
I don't
That
like
was
Taco
such
Bell.
that's such a bad. It's just bad.
Nah, but I definitely would have liked to have done like commercials and stuff because I was a communication minor, so I would have loved that. I would have any commercial opportunities. I'd have jumped right on it.
Facts.
But yeah, I think it would have been good for all of us.
Yeah.
At Villanova, like we could have commanded a lot of money.
Yeah. The ways that y'all could have been marketed. I mean, we see it now, but like the possibilities would have been endless. Honestly.
Don't worry. Somebody's gonna remember about us. They're gonna remember. Somebody's gonna be like, "Oh my God, do you remember those 4 guards?" Oh, watch somebody important
We
is gonna
speaking it
remember.
into existence.
They're gonna remember. They're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, let's put those guys in a video game, the new March Madness or something. Like, yeah,
That'll be
do
fire.
that. Do that. Yes.
That'll be fire.
That
Oh,
would be.
let's do a
Is that
documentary.
NIL?
Let's do a
They should do a
documentary
doc
the
on y'all.
They should.
Truly, they should cover that.
They should, because y'all were the predecessors of the national championships that came after that. Y'all feel me? Like,
for sure.
Y'all set that foundation in the culture for what happened after that. So that would be
some ESPN 30 for 30, maybe, you know.
That'll be fire. I mean,
put it out there. You know, let's not wait till I start getting all gray to want to talk about four guards.
Oh, we have a comment from IG. Can you tell us how you dealt with heckling? That's a good question.
Ooh, that's easy. Headphones.
He said headphones.
Nah. So, like, I remember Big 5 games. Before the games, you go out. I used to go out there to shoot early. And, like, the teams, students used to be out there going crazy. They used to be having signs, and they used to try to get your attention and all that stuff. But I used to have my headphones on in pregame warm-ups. So I never really used to hear them, but I used to see them. But stuff like that used to motivate me. I used to be like, oh, man, I cannot wait till the game start and shut all of these people up. Like, stuff like that used to motivate me. But you just definitely got to try not to pay attention to it. Like, be in the moment. Like I was saying earlier, if you be in the moment, stuff like that won't even bother you.
Right. Yeah, that was a good question.
That was. Brittany, how did you deal with it?
Yeah. Use with Vivian Stringer too.
Right. So how did you deal with that?
Exactly.
I just kind of like block the noise out. Like I would say, like I didn't wear headphones like that because I like the noise. I like to get into the environment, but I just block those people out. You nervous before the game, but once you get into the game, you in a state of flow. So I really didn't care. And sometimes you talk trash back to the crowd.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like,
I should have did more because like these girls these days, like they be 1 for 10. They be shooting 1 for 10, hit 1 3, and then start talking. I used to hit like 5 threes. I should have been out here heckling the crowd for real. Like if I get back on the court now, y'all know I'm talking so much trash. I don't care.
But you gotta pick and choose. Like you gotta pick and choose where, how you do it, who you do it to. Right. You gotta be methodical about it. You know what I'm saying?
Strategic.
Yeah.
Facts.
I remember one time. Like UConn, I would never go to UConn and like talk trash to the crowd because the possibilities of us winning at UConn are very low. So I'm not. But we at St. John's and y'all trying to talk smack to me? Nah, don't do that.
It's levels.
Don't do that. When's the last time y'all won a championship? Don't do that.
It gets spicy. It does. I mean, we see Angel Reese. I mean,
yeah.
At this point, they be talking about bag talk. Sometimes it's not even about the winning. It's get your money up at this point because
she got all that NIL money.
She was like, "Get your money up." That's what they be saying for now. Get your bag up.
And the girls is making more money than the men. Like,
yeah.
Well, even if they have more. I feel like the women got more endorsements, like better endorsements. Like the one girl got Gatorade from UConn, Paige Beckers. She's like sponsored by Gatorade and like Nike.
Yeah.
Like, that's big.
I think they're just.
Who's with Steph Curry? Is it? Did he sign a female?
Malaysia for Wiley.
From South Carolina.
Oh, she's tough.
Yeah.
She's super tough. Like she's so quick. I'd be like.
And she come off the bench. That's what's scary.
And she lock up.
But but she's fearless. She a freshman and she fearless. Like she ain't got no fear.
That's a fact.
Like if Don Staley was like, listen, it's 5 seconds left. I need you to take this shot from half court. She be like, okay, let's do it.
She's gonna do it.
Hell yeah! Nah, I like her game. I like her game a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching this Iowa game. They killing West Virginia right now.
Oh, they are.
Caitlin Clark, 30.
30,
at some
another
point,
30 ball.
At some point, you got to sit on the step back. At some point,
right?
Like,
you know what? I think with that 30 ball, she just hit another record, like most points in a NCAA season. Like she scored 1,079.
If she hasn't, she's super close. I think.
I think she might have been 29.
Either 29 or 59. One, it was something ending with a 9. But if she hit it, then that's amazing. But the girls are hooping.
Like you just got to sit on that step back. Like at some point, I'm just gonna make her drive.
Yeah,
like I'm sitting on that step back. It's that left hand step back pull up all the time. And she be hitting that shit from like half court.
Yo.
She catch everybody with that, just like Sam Young used to be catching everybody with the fake. It's really crazy how she
like her and Luka Doncic. Like you know exactly. You know Luka he gonna dribble, he gonna pick up the ball, and he gonna shoot it. And you know it's coming, but you still can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, you can't.
Like he just get it at the right. The timing is just perfect with it. That's what Caitlin Clark. That damn step back. The timing is crazy.
Oh,
and then she be talking mad. She be talking crazy.
She do be talking spicy.
All of them talk spicy. All
I love
girls
it.
Talk spicy.
Listen.
Y'all be having issues.
Listen,
man.
No. That's the flow of the game.
Nah.
It gets spicy, man.
It do get spicy.
It ain't the flow of the game. Y'all be crying about the littlest things.
The nerve. I mean,
y'all be mad as hell. Angel Reese always talking all game. You hear her talking.
She do.
Free throw line.
She do be talking all game.
But she needs to work on
You
some
can see her free throw line talking. What you talking about? Who you talking to? I know you ain't talking. You can hear her. I know you ain't talking. Who are you? Like, I'd be like, damn.
She got the NIL money, so she could talk
she
trash.
She can talk, and she got the national champion. She's a national champion. She a champ. It's like
that's how they do in the league.
Remember the ring?
That's how they do in the league, yo. They do that. They be talking the same way in the league. I'm maxed out. Yes. I remember we played the Timberwolves. No, this is when Steph was at the Knicks. He used to be running down the court. He was talking shit to somebody. Maybe it was Paul Pierce. I'm maxed out. Like, they on the court, running down the court, running plays and shit. He calling plays, talking about, I'm maxed out. I'm maxed out. You ain't maxed out.
That's crazy.
Spicy on the floor.
Yeah, bro. It used to be fun though. I used to love all of that.
Yeah.
That's fire. Well, I mean, last thing I really want to talk to you about in the NIL conversation is the transfer portal. Like, when you were in school, obviously, right, we had to wait like a year to transfer. Like, you had to sit out a year to transfer. And then if you were in conference, sit like 2 years if you transfer within your conference. So, like, how do you feel about the transfer portal now? And the kids having this ability to kind of, I guess, pitch themselves to other schools, essentially, with this unique thing that they've opened up now.
I mean, I think it's perfect. I think it definitely shakes up the college landscape. It shakes it up tremendously. But you gotta think about it, like coaches been doing this since the beginning of time. Like, just look at, and I'm not saying he's gonna take this job, but I'm just trying to use this as an example. So you got Shaheen Holloway with St. Peter's. He started at St. Peter's. He got them going. Then boom, left. He's at Seton Hall now. Got them going. Now I think Louisville is looking for another head coach, and he's one of the top candidates. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So like, if he's able to move around and do what's best for him, then the kids should be able to move around and do what's best for them. Because every opportunity is not good. You know, every opportunity is not a good situation for those guys. You know, there's plenty of times I've seen it. Guys come in, they get recruited, they just don't really get the playing time because you got guys like myself, Kyle Lowry, Randy Foye in front of you. Like, you're not gonna find playing time. So some guys back when I was playing were like kind of forced to stay in school and sit through that because they didn't want to go transfer, have to sit out a year. So now, if that situation happens, they could just be like, I need to find a better situation for myself, and they can do that. So I'm all for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only have one more question. Who do you have winning the national championship on the men's side?
I gotta go with UConn. Like there's nothing that tells me why they won't win. Like I can't find anything that says why they won't win. And the only thing is if they beat themselves. Like if they come out and don't hit shots and like have a bad game, that's how they're gonna lose. Because other than that, I mean, I don't see anybody beating them guys. But they have been hot for a long time, and I don't know. Somebody might put out that fire in the tournament, but I do hope they win it for the Big East because the Big East got hosed. So UConn winning it again should show them not to disrespect us.
Right.
And who you got for the women's on the women's side? Who you got winning in the Natty?
All right, I got a question for y'all first.
Okay.
Van Liff. That's the name? That's how you say it? Van Leaf?
Yeah. No, Van Lift. He's right.
Van Liff. What happened to her?
We want to know.
He's had a hard time transitioning into a point guard role.
Yeah.
That wasn't her main role. That wasn't her role at Louisville. And I think that I don't know if this was the plan the entire time when she entered the transfer portal and was having conversations with Moki, but she's been having a difficult time transitioning into that role since she's been there.
Okay, so do you think that they accepting her over there? Because this is a white girl over there with a whole bunch of black girls, and everybody be saying that they kind of not like accepting her over there. Like, do y'all see that?
That they're not accepting her?
Yeah,
I think she's accepted.
yeah.
Yeah, I think she's accepted. I just don't feel like she.
I just read this somewhere, so these ain't my thoughts. These are not my thoughts.
I'm just saying, like she watching her through the entire.
I don't understand how she could play like that at Louisville and then like not play like that here.
That's
like,
what Evan says.
That's what we all.
Wrong.
That's what we all was saying. Like, why hasn't she turned up the same way?
It gotta be something internal.
I mean, I don't know. She got blacked on the last game. She didn't start the second half of the last game. Like Kim Mulkey blacked on her. Okay? And she took it. But her transition from off guard to point guard coming to LSU has been terrible.
So she was an off guard at Louisville?
Yeah, she was playing the 2.
She's playing the 2.
So she left Louisville to go to LSU to play the 1. So somebody must have been telling her that she needs to play the 1 if she wanted to like get to the WNBA or something like that.
Maybe.
Because wasn't Louisville good?
Yes.
So why leave?
I think that because LSU won that championship, and with her wanting to come back for that extra year, this COVID year, she just was determined to get a ring. I don't. That's the only answer I could come up with as to why. And that's because they just came off winning the national championship.
That's the only reason.
So me, I don't know. I just like Don Staley teams, and it's not because of like the talent. Obviously, she got the talent, but them girls, they all know how to play. Like those girls know how to play. So even if it's just some shit that comes up in the game, certain situations, like they just know how to react to it, and they just well coached. It's hard for me to go against a well coached Don Staley team.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
so
we don't know either.
USC is tough too.
I feel like South Carolina, if they play the defense that they played like last game, they unstoppable.
They are.
They
They
they made Deja Kelly look crazy.
Real crazy.
Chanteé, why you hiding your background?
It looked crazy. Why are you calling me out?
Yo, why you hiding?
Dang, Allan! Why should we get off of here? Really?
My bad,
I should have asked tougher questions then.
Yeah.
I should have asked tougher questions.
Britt, why you laughing hard as hell like that?
Yo,
don't let her gas you up.
No, she already gassed me. It's done. It's done.
Don't let her gas you up to feel some type of way.
It's done. It's done.
Yo, she laughing hard as hell. She laughing hard as hell at you, Chanteé.
Now you get now you're gassing.
He a troll.
See?
He a troll.
Wow.
Allan, thank you. Let the people know where they can find you at on social media, everywhere, what you doing.
So my Instagram, I don't even know because I don't be on it like that. I think it's a.ray_ with the underscore. Twitter is aray43 at aray43. I'm always on Twitter, so I don't be on Instagram. aray43. And I got a podcast, Rain in Threes podcast, with some of my Nova guys. We interview a whole bunch of people, Jay Wright, Seth Greenberg, Jay Billis. So it's pretty good. Go check that out. And yeah, that's about it. I'm old school. I don't got 1,000 socials.
Thank you. That's fine. And with that, thank you for joining us. Tomorrow we'll be on again. Me and Chanteé will be breaking down the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. So please tap in with us at 7 p.m. And please follow the 9450. Subscribe. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. 9450. Thank you, everybody. And with that being said, we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yep. Peace, y'all.
Peace out.
Peace.